So again, welcome everyone to our weekly Coffee and Conversation Networker. We've been doing these pretty much every Wednesday since things have had to pivot, the term we've been hearing a lot lately. And we continue to do so. So we're excited to bring a health and wellness edition to you this week. I think all of us would agree that if you don't have your health, you don't have much else. Without your health, it's really hard to be happy. And I think all of us would say that happiness is one of our #1 goals in life. And I'm really excited today to bring three wonderful partners to highlight different areas to help you just look at ways to improve not only your physical health, but your mental health, because it's all mixed in together. And speaking of mixed in together, I like my coffee sweet and creamy, so I just mixed that up. And I'm really excited about live sports happening. Yep, throw up your cane sign or whatever mascot you want to represent, but I'm excited about the cane season just starting. I've got my Dolphins blanket throw here for the Dolphin season. We're starting off okay. we're not in it, but the Heat, man, I'm just so excited. I'm a big sports fan. I'm a season ticket holder. Unfortunately, not going to any in-person games this year, but just thrilled to have something more exciting to watch on TV than reruns. So that said, I do want to remind everyone it is we are in our full tourism recovery program. So whether you're thinking of a getaway, think about doing a staycation right in your own backyard. We have great discounts and deals featuring our amazing partners, many of you on the call today, from our hotel partners, miamibeaches.com or miamishines.com. You can see amazing deals, not only from hotels, but our attractions, and of course our spas, because Spa Month did officially start earlier this month, and there's some great deals to be had. So we're going to be hearing from one of our spa partners shortly. So lots of great stuff. And again, the news continues to improve on our COVID situation, more things opening. So, you know, with that said, I just want to again thank everyone for being here today, especially our hosts, our participants. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth, who helped coordinate everyone on this to gather us all together, and of course to the partnership team and everyone on the GMCVB team for helping us with these events every week. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dr. Anto Bonci. He says just call him Dr. Anto. So that is what I have agreed to. But I'll go ahead and introduce him. He is with the Global Institute on Addiction, and he will unfortunately need to step away before we can complete the full hour. So we will do a Q&A immediately following his presentation specific to his, and then we will go into our other two presentations featuring the Carillon Resort and Spa and Bio Station. So Dr. Anto, please take it away. Shall I start sharing the screen?
Yes, please. Thank you. And thank you, Aline. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. Let me see. Okay. So you can call me Anto, actually. There is no need for doctor. So we just opened, actually, we are in newbies in the Miami downtown area, our institute. We just opened a few weeks ago. And wait a second. Okay. And so if anybody has questions, I really apologize for having to run, but it's one of those days. It's my first day of vacation after 15 months, actually. So my fiancé is gonna kill me if I'm not on the road in about 30 minutes. So this is the most important slide. You have our website, gia.miami, and you have my email, anto.bonci@gia.miami. So if you have any questions, if I'm going too fast, please feel free to email me and we can always chat. I'm gonna be back next Monday in Miami. So more than happy to answer any questions anybody has. So I just wanna touch as a neurologist a little bit on this big mystery, which is the consequences of mental wellness from a neurological, from a psychiatric point of view caused by COVID-19, but more in general by the consequences, the environmental consequences of this pandemic crisis, and what could be possible simple solutions for anyone who's suffering from this post-pandemic stress disorder, if you may. So some of the most typical symptoms and features that have happened because of COVID-19 are listed here. This is, again, a short list. Fear and worry about your health, the health of loved ones, financial situation issues, job loss, or loss of support services that we rely on. People experience symptoms, changes in sleep, eating patterns, problem sleeping, concentrating. People with chronic health problems, because of the slowness of the ability to see doctors, actually see worsening of these chronic conditions. It's actually, if you're not in an emergency mode, it's more difficult to actually see physicians, as you all know. Mental health has suffered tremendously, and we'll get in that just in a few seconds. And in general, as a former scientific director at the NIH of NIDA, the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the statistics are fairly clear. There is an increased number and incidence of any form of addiction, all of them, from cigarette smoking to alcoholism, cocaine, you name it. So this is really a major, major crisis. The statistics go from 30% more to 4,000% more, depending on where and depending on the mental condition or the clinical condition. Specifically, if we move to the brain-related symptoms that have been described by many studies: decreased concentration, decreased mental focus, problems maintaining attention, memory impairment, increased tiredness or fatigue, insomnia, as I mentioned, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, anhedonia, which, as you may know, has to do with low dopamine levels in general, increased stress, of course, and agitation, restlessness, irritability. So this is, again, a short list. What we don't know yet is what are the long-term consequences of COVID-19, right? This epidemic, this pandemic has just started, so to speak. So it may take a longer time to really know what are the full-fledged range of symptoms. So what do we suggest in general to do? And this is the G approach with our patients. The approach at the end of the day is always the same. And the key word is comprehensive, comprehensive, and comprehensive. So we need to start, as always, with very extensive, personalized medical, neurological, psychological evaluation if needed. Because, as you know, precision medicine is the key in 2020. So we really need to tackle in detail what exactly is a reality of a symptom and what is more of a perception of a patient. Many patients may complain of anxiety or depression, but in reality, symptoms may be less or more minor than what patients think, or vice versa. We may uncover symptoms that are in the pathological domain that patients are not even aware of. We are also very mechanistic in the sense that we do, and we are creating a partnership as we speak, hopefully with the BioStation, which is a phenomenal asset for us. And we do believe in extensive blood work and comprehensive brain scans. One of the main features of COVID-19 is that it seems to target the blood vessels, including brain blood vessels. So brain scans with all the different modalities that are offered right now can be extremely precious to even diagnose features that COVID-19 may have created, even that patients are not remotely aware of. And finally, transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is one of the iron horses of GIA. This is what we are doing. And this is also the background as a scientist that I am bringing to GIA and I'm coming from. So transcranial magnetic stimulation is a technology that has been around for a long time. I just want to tell you in the next 5 minutes why this technology can help a lot in many of the conditions that I mentioned. So the concept of using brain stimulation, electrical stimulation, started actually 2,400 years ago with Hippocrates. Then there was a hiatus of about 400 years with the Scribonius Largus, the doctor of the Emperor Claudius, but the concept was to use electric fish to stimulate your forehead and to provide relief from migraine, for example, and other conditions. Then the true history of brain stimulation started back in 1771 in Italy with Luigi Galvani, and the concept was once again developed one on the back of the other. Many scientists contributed for the last 250 years, up to when Anthony Barker, a doctor in the UK, brought to the clinic in 1985, the use of TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, for the relief of symptoms related to medication-resistant depression. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is a very simple technology. You just use this arm connected to an amplifier, and you basically deliver in the forehead of patients, in this case, electromagnetic fields. These are not painful. The electrical charge is similar to a AAA battery, and the device basically touches the patient's head. That's it. There's no needles, there's nothing scary or particularly dramatic. But this brain stimulation can really awaken many different brain regions in this relatively simple way. And the features of TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, are many. There are 4 main known effects of this form of non-invasive brain stimulation. There is a neurochemical effect, which means release of many neurotransmitters and growth factors, dopamine, serotonin, glutamate, you name it. There is a vascular effect, which I'll touch upon in a second. There is production and creation of brain plasticity. There are new synapses being formed in our brain, and some people call this brain rejuvenation, which I think is just a fancy, silly word, but the bottom line is brains can produce new synaptic connections at any age. The brain is constantly remodeling itself. So this is a very important concept. And interestingly enough, we also have an anti-inflammatory effect produced by brain stimulation. So this is a very powerful technology that, unfortunately, because it's not owned by anybody, it's IP-free, is really not known and doesn't get proper recognition in terms of its power to relieve patients from symptoms. In terms of blood flow, just see these orange-yellow parts are parts of the brain that see increased blood flow after stimulation with TMS in the frontal region of people's brain. You can see there is a massive increase of blood flow almost in half of the patient's brain. This is just to tell you that even if you stimulate a small spot, as I showed before, in the near the forehead of patients, you have a really massive increase in blood flow, which again, may be one of the reasons why this technology is so beneficial in many different ways. The studies that we did, and we were the pioneers together with a few other scientists, starting from 2015, was the use of TMS in patients that suffer from orphan diseases. My laboratory targeted specifically patients with cocaine problems, and my collaborators, through research that I did in my laboratory, showed that patients with severe cocaine addiction, this is a study that followed patients for about 32 months, patients who used to abuse cocaine about 5 times per week, after weeks of TMS sessions, went down to less than, on average, once per month of cocaine use. Now, what is interesting about this is that these patients had comorbidities, alcoholism, pathological gambling, and TMS actually helped those patients in these additional types of addictions. Particularly pathological gambling is another orphan disease. You may know that, like cocaine or methamphetamine, there are no medications as we speak to treat these very severe addictions. These are some comments very quickly that patients provided after TMS, which is pretty remarkable. Again, these patients on average had an addiction to cocaine of about 16, 17 years. And in just a few weeks, their concept of awareness and their own self-confidence changed dramatically. Several patients said, many of them actually, we have more than 1,800. I regained full awareness of my problems. I can now appreciate little things in life again, like looking at my parents smile. Cocaine was not in my thoughts anymore. I no longer wanted to go buy it. I can talk about it. I can meet a pusher or read about it. It does not touch me. It's far away from me. My sleep, this is another side effect, has improved dramatically, and so on and so forth. So clearly, major changes by stimulating these frontal regions, which are, as you may know, the control center for decisions, for making the right decisions. And by stimulating with TMS these brain regions in patients with these types of addictions, we actually allow these patients to take control of their own decisions at the end of the day, to make it super simple. This is what I mentioned before, patients who were also pathological gamblers, meaning gambling way more than their salaries, 300 to 400 euros per day in many cases, lost interest in irresponsible gambling, okay? So this is a study that we also published, very important to remember. So there is hope for patients with pathological gambling or problematic gambling. And then very quickly, there are about 400 clinical trials, if you go on clinicaltrial.gov, on the many uses of TMS in neurological and psychiatric disorders. I just mentioned a minor snapshot on what TMS can do. But for example, there is very strong preliminary evidence for methamphetamine users. As I mentioned, there is no current treatment for methamphetamine besides psychological support, which is still very important. And it goes beyond that. Anxiety, trauma-related disorders, TMS is one of the new main assets that we can use with patients, for example, that do not respond to traditional and anxiolytic medications. So we are also offering that at GIA, but many other centers and university, I'm sure they do. So in conclusion, medicine in 2020, going back to the symptoms that we have seen, and we are seeing more in patients with this post-COVID-19 stress or pandemic syndrome, medicine in 2020 can offer a lot. And the key word is comprehensive, to not rely on just psychological treatments, just TMS, just medications, just we need to take a very comprehensive approach. Everything has to be done. The other comment, sorry, I don't know if I have one more second. Yes, TMS, as I mentioned, is one of the mainstays that we have developed at GIA, but I didn't have time to go into that, but OCD, it is also approved beyond depression for treatment of OCD and cigarette, tobacco smoking. It is very helpful in patients with mild cognitive impairment to actually help them with their memory and performance. It has been used also in patients with chronic fatigue syndrome with very promising results. So I just want to put a placeholder on your thoughts on just to remember that medicine can really do a lot beyond what we traditionally think, because we shouldn't forget that even if it's 2020, between 7 and 50% of Americans are aware that there are therapies for addiction, for depression, for anxiety. So we really need to make sure that at least people know that there are many different ways to provide treatments right now. And there is a lot of hope in getting better. And I'm done. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you so much. I did not mean to advance you quickly. It was just I was trying to bring up the chat, and anytime I clicked on
It's okay.
Advancing your slide, so I tried not to touch anything.
Absolutely. Don't worry.
In my life, I have known quite a few people that have had, from drinking problems, cigarette addictions. I mean, they say anything you do after 30 days becomes a habit because your brain forms this little track, and it's really interesting for me to hear that, because there is hope. I know so many people, they relapse, and to hear that there are some alternative solutions that are really sound like they've been around a long time, but are groundbreaking for today's use. I was wondering if it's covered by insurance typically, that type of treatment.
It depends.
Okay.
From insurance to insurance. For depression, as far as I know, because it's FDA approved, yes, but it really varies across insurances. So it's, I know that TRICARE, for example, for veterans, which is a population very dear to our hearts, does cover TMS for certain symptoms, but it's a very varied landscape. So it depends.
Sure.
For the symptoms and from insurance to insurance.
All right, I have 2 questions that have come in so far for you, Doctor.
Yes.
And again, just as a reminder for those who may have joined us later, Dr. Bonci will need to jump off. So now's your time to ask questions of him. Should you have any, of course, you can always reach out directly. His information is in the chat. First question is, were any other forms of therapy administered at the same time during RTMS?
Yes. Yes, it's a very important question. And it's a crucial question. Thank you. So whatever medications the patients were taking, they could keep on taking it. What happened in many cases is that if a patient was taking, for example, antidepressants, right? And then the treatment kicked in after a week or two, or depending on the patient, naturally, in many cases, patients tapered off those medications. But there are patients that need medications for many other situations. There is, in general, especially with medications that do affect the central nervous system, in terms of symptoms like antipsychotics or medications for ADHD or anxiety or depression, we have tended to see a synergistic effect, so that over time, patients wanted to reduce, and the healthcare provider wanted to reduce the medication up to just eliminating altogether the medication. But again, it depends from patient to patient. So in general, a tendency to reduce the medications.
Great. And then another question was, how many treatments with TMS are typically needed to see improvement?
Right. That is another great question. It depends on the pathology. So if we talk about cocaine addiction, the spectrum on average after 3 to 4 weeks, and the treatments are once a day for the first week, twice a week for week 2, 3, and 4, by the end of the 4th week, the majority of patients do see some major improvements in some of the symptoms that they've been suffering from. For example, in the case of cocaine, craving or depression, lack of sleep, inability to control this impulsivity to get cocaine. Now, the extreme lucky cases, within 5 days or so, they began to see improvement. That is not typical. That is really, really super lucky. But what we suggest in general, even with patients that do see improvement within 2 or 3 weeks, which is again on the lucky spectrum, given that these pathologies have been going on for 15 years, we try to suggest them to keep on doing TMS for at least 10 to 12 weeks, even if it's just once a week. And the procedure is lasting only a few minutes. So it is not that these are all outpatients. It is not that we are eating up their day because of TMS. They come in, we just have to measure and find the proper location. It's a 10 to 15 to 20 minutes procedure altogether. After a half hour, they go back home. But we suggest to be followed just for safety, even with depression or anxiety, for at least 12 weeks, even if it's only a few minutes per week after the first 4 weeks.
Wonderful. And do you anticipate this being something to help with like Alzheimer's and those sorts of, brain-related aging disorders? I think he froze up, yes?
There are
Anto, are you there?
Parkinson's disease. There are studies done with Alzheimer. Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was breaking up a little bit. I wasn't sure if it was me or you.
Oh, okay, sorry. So there are many different groups, including in Toronto at CAMH, that study specifically Alzheimer's. Results so far seems to show that very early Alzheimer's or mild cognitive impairment benefits from TMS, not the severe Alzheimer cases. So Alzheimer is a progressive disease, as you know. So it does help with memory, with aphasia as well, but in the early phases, not in the severe cases, as far as we know for now.
Great. Well, thank you again, and we will not hold you up on getting to that vacation. So enjoy and drive safely and wear your mask. Thank you, doctor. So that said, I am so excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
All right. We are going to go ahead and invite Tammy Pale from Carillon Miami Wellness Resort to join us now. I'm going to go ahead and get her spotlighted here. So there you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me to share what we're doing over here at the Caroline Miami Wellness Resort on 68th and Collins. We're doing some amazing work, not exactly what the doctor's doing, but things that definitely can reduce anxiety, stress, inflammation, and all the wonderful things that we're all looking for due to COVID-19 for sure. So the thing that I wanted to talk about today was the touchless wellness experiences. One of the things that has definitely changed with COVID-19 as we enter the spa industry and return, and those that love massage, facial, body treatments, there is a little bit of anxiety to return because you're going to be in a room alone with a therapist. And just to ease everybody, here at the Caroline, we do wear shields, masks, gloves. We provide the highest standard of disinfection. We use a hospital grade cleaner to disinfect all treatment rooms, all fitness center, everything that you would experience here at the Caroline. So, but to add to that, one of the things that we've decided to do was add some touchless wellness experiences. And I'd like to share some of those with you this morning. The first one is the Pure Wave. It's the Vemi.
Should I be advancing?
Yes, please.
Sorry. And I was on mute too. It's not there. Touchless wellness experiences. Okay.
So the Vemi, we only have 2 lounge chairs in it, but the best part of what this does, I could never fall asleep in the middle of the day ever. But I did enjoy our Vemi suite about a week ago. And the interesting part about it, I'll tell the benefits, but personally speaking, what it did for me is I fell asleep 3 different times. I just was so relaxed that I actually snored and woke myself up, and I don't even snore. So it's an amazing experience. It's beautiful, as you see, but the big bonus for this treatment, we're all surrounded by technology in general, our cell phones, our laptops. So there's a tremendous amount of EMF that we ourselves absorb. And that can lead to a variety of different sicknesses.
Listening to it.
Oh, someone else.
Tell me what this is. Okay, so this is my client, the Biostation. There's more than 2 locations, but this is their main location, which is their real bread and butter. And what they
apologize, guys, needs to be on mute. Let me just see if we can figure out who's not on mute there. Okay, sorry about that, Tammy.
No worries. But the best part about it is if you enjoy this beyond relaxing, you know, it's an infrared bed, so it's very warming and relaxing, but it does clear your cells from what they call sticky static. And that is, again, your cell phone, your computers, but it's an amazing experience just for relaxation, just for calming down. It's great for couples. It's great for 2 girls that come in for a spa day before, after your spa treatment. And our next one is halotherapy. A lot of people know a lot about infrared, but halotherapy in particular has the salt, and it's a pharmaceutical salt that you're breathing. So it reduces inflammation, it relaxes your respiratory system. It's a great detoxer, great for your skin. It's exfoliating, but again, 20 minutes in this, in the halotherapy is great mentally, physically, and spiritually. Our next treatment that we have is called the Rasha. And actually this doctor created the system. He's part of the NASA scientists, and he created this to help the right and left brain relax. His big focus was bringing people to a state of less stress, less anxiety. And there's you can do 4 different sessions with this, but overall, most of the things I'm going to share with you, you can get a la carte here at the Carillon, or you can buy a 10-pack or 12-pack. But the benefit of this is really balancing your right and left hemisphere of your brain, bringing your mind and body to harmony. So it's an amazing treatment. It is with a lounge chair. It's a water pillow top. It's warm and cozy. Our next one is Prism Light. The best part about Prism Light is that, again, there's 6 different options on this that you can pick from. So if you're looking for muscle recovery, if you're an athlete or you're a runner, if you're looking for weight management, if you have pain management, inflammation, you have 6 different buttons that you can pick from. And if you buy a series, you can mix and match it. It is for anti-aging, also for reducing fine lines, but it's a 15-minute session. So that's what a lot of people, in particular myself, I like about it, because in 15 minutes, I can focus on weight management and anti-aging in particular for me. But again, you can buy a 12-pack of those, but it's an amazing experience. It looks like a tanning bed almost, but again, very healing and helpful to the body. Our next one is Vibrogenics. And Vibrogenics is located in an oxygen, that's an oxygen tank around it. So you're breathing oxygen. So it is 2 things. It is a non-sweat workout, as it says, but it works off of vibration, and the technology is sound therapy, and it's moving through your body. So as a workout, if you do your workout on the Vibrogenics for 20 minutes, it equals an hour. For those that have health issues or concerns, but there's a whole panel with 50 different health focuses that you can do. Basically, the most part, 3 times a day you would do it, whether you're exercising or you're focused on your lymphatic system. If you have bursitis, I have bursitis in my knee. I did it 3 times a week. I saw a noticeable difference after 1 session. It can be used for weight loss, improve circulation, and definitely we have a resident here who's a bodybuilder, and she gets on it just to reduce inflammation in her body and for muscle recovery. So you can use it for a variety of different options, but again, the recommended is 3 times a week. The next one is Spa Wave. And Spa Wave, as you can see, it's warm, it's a water pillow top, color therapy for those that suffer from sleep. And as the doctor talked to us about why people have issues with sleep, anxiety, stress. Anyways, this is a 25-minute treatment. You lay on it, and it will take you to a beta sleep in 9 minutes. So what does that mean for you? You go to such a deep sleep that when you fall asleep, it feels like you've slept 8 hours. You will sleep, and a lot of times, not always, but a lot of our guests that come and enjoy this, we literally have to go in and wake them up because they are in such a deep sleep. But for those who suffer from sleep, this is such a relieving treatment to have. And on top of it, you've got the color therapy and you're warm and cozy. Another treatment that we have, touchless, is you can lay this bed, as you can see underneath the lady laying on the bed, that's Himalayan salt and quartz. So it's warm. You lay on it, and then from the nape of your neck to the lower back, it's massaging you. Now, we have this where it's touchless, and you can experience it here, but we also have it, we have two of these. We have another one in our treatment area where a massage therapist can be massaging you while the bed is massaging you. But I do want to point out with the Himalayan salt, breathing it again causes your respiratory system to relax. So it's a great treatment. Our next touchless wellness experience is the salt float bath. Again, 800 pounds of Epsom salt, relieves muscle. Actually, we have 3 of the Miami Heat players that come over and they do a muscle recovery circuit. Part of our muscle recovery circuit is the salt float bath. And this is actually a couples float bath, but the great thing is for our athletes that are, you know, very tall, they're able to fit in here comfortably and float. You can do 30 minutes, 60 minutes. This is great, even if you're not an athlete. If you happen to be a runner, this is a great treatment because it relaxes the muscle tissue and reduces inflammation. So whether you're an athlete or maybe you just need to relax, this is the perfect solution coupled with the massage. If you had this and then your massage after, I would be scraping you off the table. You would be like, I don't want to go. I'm sorry.
That's great.
But anyways, then the another treatment that we have, excuse me, is avalanche, and it's cryotherapy, and it's full body. You step into the avalanche, and in 3 minutes, it's a 3-minute treatment. It takes you to sub-zero temperatures. But again, this is part of muscle recovery. It also is part of a weight management program that you can do. You can do this 3 times a week. Basically, it burns 500 calories in 3 minutes. And it's because you're going to a sub-zero temperature. Also boosts the immune system. As we know today, everybody's looking for how do I stay healthy to fight COVID, and this is another treatment, and it's touchless, and you're by yourself for 3 minutes. Our next one is Dermalex. This is great for reducing fine lines. It's more of an anti-aging treatment. Actually, underneath of it is a table, so your face goes underneath the circle part. But again, it accelerates cell renewal. We all know that with our skin, it's every 21 days, but this helps to accelerate that. So if you're looking to reduce fine lines on your face, this is a perfect treatment to have coupled with a massage, or it can be done a la carte. And then we have Angelique, which is it's cryotherapy, but for those who maybe don't want to be enclosed in a space, maybe you're claustrophobic, you can lay on a facial massage table, and the Cryo One is a spot cryo experience. So if it's body toning, if you want to focus on belly fat, you would lay on the table, and the therapist isn't touching you, but she has a handheld piece of equipment that goes over your body, and it can also be used for reducing fine lines. So it's a great treatment to have. And again, this is a 20-minute treatment. No one's really touching you. And it falls into that category of the touchless wellness. And one of the last treatments that we have, this Zafiro, again, this is a water peeling, water exfoliating facial. There is a handheld piece of equipment, but it reduces fine lines. It improves the collagen in for your skin. And it definitely gives you that firm feeling that you're looking for when you're fighting that age that is we're all going to face it, but it definitely gives you that plump feeling on your skin. And then lastly, I just want to mention that, you know, all the equipment that I've just showed you, you can experience it. We also have in-home versions. The Carillon is kicking off in October, Carillon at Home Wellness. And one thing I want to mention for those of you who travel or get on a plane quite often, I know we're all trying not to, but Halotherapy also has, if you see right by the coffee mug here in this picture, it's called the Pocket, and it is salt that comes out of it. So if you're flying before, during, or after, you can be breathing pharmaceutical salt, which again protects your respiratory system and keeps you healthy. If anybody is interested in our touchless wellness technology that we have here at the Carillon, write to me. I can share some more information with you. I appreciate your time this morning. And if you have any questions, please ask.
Well, Tammy, that is fantastic. I'll say I've been getting some personal notes from everyone like, wow, I need to do that. Holy cow. And then a lot of people saying, wow, I wonder how much it costs. So, you know, I know that you have some great spa deals out there, and, you know, do you have a membership? What type of packages we talk about here?
Well, one thing I did want to point out, something that you said, you know, we do have a spa and beach membership here at the Carillon. We have a signature membership as well as an elite membership, and email me and I'll send you some information on that. Some of the treatments that you looked at are relatively inexpensive. Prism is a $49 treatment. If you buy a pack of 10, it's $300. So basically you're getting multiple treatments anywhere from $30 to, I'd probably say, I think the most expensive is Zafiro. That would probably be about $200 a session, but most of them are relatively inexpensive. And I would tell you, definitely most of them are under or around $99. So for those that, you know, want to do series, that's where you really have a huge savings for the touchless.
Much more affordable than I was expecting. I mean, I felt like I was in the space age there for look at that. That's fantastic.
Well, you have to come visit us.
Don't worry. I was just like, I think I'm going to be moving in. So I'll just do the circuit from one machine to another.
We can do it for you.
Well, I appreciate that. We did have, of course, if anyone has questions, now it's a great time to send them on the chat. We did get a question from one of our friends at Marriott talking about where, if you want to see the question, it's in the chat also, but great suggestion. And I know I'd be there if there was one, but I guess there was a series of events at a South Beach hotel that partnered with the studio to present a variety of fitness classes with access to locals, to the pool. And do you have any types of events like this planned coming up to drive a little more of your local business or show off?
Well, you know, we participate in Spa Miami Month. We'll continue offering specials till the end of the year. We do have it's called Carillon Conversations. We do have that every week. And for those that are interested in a lot of our health and wellness options here, Carillon Conversations focuses on that. So you get to hear the doctors that are participating. You get to hear the developers of our touchless wellness equipment. We cover everything. So most of it right now, Carillon Conversations is something that we do through Big Marker. Is that Big Marker? So anybody that's interested in hearing more about Carillon Conversations, I can send you information if you email me. And the same for the Spa and Beach membership and any of the touchless wellness technology that you've seen today. If you have an interest or you'd like to know what pricing is, please let me know and I will send you out information on each one.
Awesome. Well, you did a fantastic job. I mean, I had no idea you had those types of treatments, and I doubt many of us on the call had that type of insight. I mean, it's just really, truly beyond what I was expecting. So that's fantastic, and I really learned a lot. So thank you again to you and Roxy for your participation today. And again, if anyone has any questions, we can get to them towards the end. Last but certainly not least, I want to invite one of our new partners with the BioStation. Hillary Small is their marketing director, so I'm going to go ahead and invite her to say hello, and I will bring up the presentation when you're ready.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me today to introduce you to the BioStation if you haven't heard of us before, and if you have, share some information specifically around our anti-aging and wellness services. So as mentioned, I am the marketing director, so I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical person. I've been with the BioStation though for 7 years in different aspects for the past 2 years as the marketing director. So my depth of knowledge related to the services is obviously extensive, but if you have specific medically related questions, I will provide you with my contact information, and I can have one of our medical, either doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners reach out to you directly. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of the information I will be sharing with you is medically focused. So, are you going to advance it for me, Allie?
Sorry, I put myself on mute. I can advance it, or I can give you remote control. Which do you prefer?
I'll take it. I'll take remote control.
Okay. All yours.
Okay, so the BioStation, we're an anti-aging and wellness practice. Let's see, this is gonna work for me. Yes, great. So we have multiple locations. So if you are in Miami, obviously the closest location to you will be our Midtown location. Our first location opened 7 years ago in Delray Beach. I happen to be sitting in one of our IV rooms currently giving this presentation. It's the quietest place I could find. So we also have a location within the Boca Raton Resort and Club, and also in the Virgin Islands. And currently, just with the, I guess, necessity and interest in health and wellness as it's related to COVID and everything that's going on, we're working on multiple partnerships with whether it be different doctors, hotels, wellness establishments. So in a very short period of time, it's likely that you'll see the BioStation in many different places. So I wanted to also share just a quick picture of what one of our locations looks like, because one of our differentiating factors is, even though we are an anti-aging and wellness practice and provide medical services, our locations are not like your typical doctor's office. So they're very, I would say, relaxing, contemporary, spa-like, and anytime you enter into one of our locations, it looks very similar. So again, we are an anti-aging and wellness practice, and what we do, the foundation of what we do and our core services is functional medicine. So there are a lot of different places that you may have encountered that do similar things to what we do, but there are certain things that do set us apart. So our founder he was a cardiologist, so our medical director, he actually practices medicine and sees patients in all of our locations. And we also offer virtual services. So whether it be Dr. Bloom or one of the other physicians that we have on staff, we are led by physicians. So that is definitely one of our differentiating factors. So, everything we do is customized and personalized. We spend a lot of time with our patients. We monitor them closely to make sure whatever goals they're trying to achieve, they are achieving. the type of service we offer is very personalized. So again, this is another one of the things that sets us apart from other practices is anybody who comes into our practice is assigned a person, a patient advocate who will be their point of contact throughout their wellness journey at the biostation. We cater to everybody. I'm sorry for the background noise. We cater to all different types of budgets and lifestyles. And we are also going to be launching our mobile services for blood draws and IV therapy, which is very exciting. And as a result of just the current environment, we have always offered virtual consultations, but it's become one of our core services. So here, just sharing, some of our medical staff, again, it is one of the things that differentiates us is the caliber of the medical providers that we do have on staff. And I wanted to share, again, at the root of what we do, we're a functional medicine practice. So if somebody comes to us with a symptom, so a lot of the things that we address are people's symptoms. So you can't sleep, you can't lose weight, brain fog, you have mood swings, your memory is not the same. And now, because of, kind of in line with what Dr. Anton from GEO was saying too, COVID has really affected people in ways that, they may not have been affected before. And our job as a functional medicine practice is to really get to the root cause. So if somebody can't sleep, letting them know, here are some solutions, not just giving them a sleeping pill. So we offer a lot of services. So I'm not going to go through each one, but just to show you that, at the core of what we do is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, bringing people's hormones back to an optimal level so that, they're all the things that I mentioned. So sleep, muscle mass, weight loss, all of those things are, brought back to an optimal level. So, with that are certain things. So like pellet therapy, HGH peptide therapy, some of these things you may be familiar with. If not, again, if you have questions, we are happy to answer any of them. So we also offer IV therapy. So again, anybody can come in for IV therapy, a B12 injection. Again, now with immunity being top of mind, our IV therapy, the demand for our IV therapy has definitely increased. So in addition to taking care of the inside, we also take care of the outside. So some of our services as it relates to just, things to help with, rejuvenation of skin. We do offer these only in our brick and mortar locations, obviously. So at the core, again, of what we do, and I keep saying that, but is our diagnostic blood testing. So for someone who comes in and, they want to have, more energy, sleep better, have, more youthful skin, function better overall, we always have them start with an in-depth diagnostic blood test. So I'm just going to go through just some basic things related to that. And I know I'm kind of going through this quickly. We have, not a lot of time left. But again, I can provide this presentation to anybody and give you more information as it relates to this process and what we do. So if you get your blood tested, if you've had a comprehensive blood panel before, it's not what you get at your normal doctor's office. So our diagnostic testing looks at basically 40 biomarkers. So we look at, your heart health, cholesterol, liver and kidney health. We will look at your, sex hormones, your metabolic growth hormones. Just to, mention one thing, cortisol is something that I'm sure you've heard of. It's more of kind of a mainstream term that people talk about. If your cortisol is high or cortisol is low, it can affect you in detrimental ways. So that's something that we look at. Thyroid, blood sugar, inflammation, your nutrient levels. So, again, with, everybody trying to understand how they are prepared. If you were to get COVID or something like that, it's really important to know what your vitamin D levels are, what your vitamin B levels are. So that's also something that we test for. So we look at your sex and reproductive hormones, your adrenals, your blood chemistry, your bone health, tumor markers. And so this is something that, I'll read the entire slide because I think it's really important to get this point across. Is the way you look at aging is the progressive damage to structures and functions of our bodies that lead our systems to becoming less efficient. These changes can be brought on by improper levels of natural hormones. So something that I want to mention related to this is just because you're not older, so 40 plus, and I'm not saying that 40 is old by any means, but somebody who is younger, just to give an example, of a young woman who may have been on birth control, let's say, and it has affected that person, they might be 30 years old. We have had a lot of patients that come in with a situation like that, and their hormone levels are off. It's affecting everything, and they're young. So what we can do is we can do things to bring that person back to an optimal level. And basically, they'll be good as long as they maintain proper health until, they get to the point where they do truly need hormone replacement therapy or hormone restoration, at an older age. And the same thing goes for men. So environmental factors and things have affected men's testosterone levels at a younger age. So we are able to help and bring, people's levels back to optimal. So anti-aging medicine treats and prevents age-related diseases by addressing the absence or imbalance of hormones. So, So what we do is preventing age-related diseases. So if your hormone levels are off, it can be leading to things like inflammation and things within your body that could contribute to, bigger problems as you get older if they're not addressed, if things aren't operating optimally. So hormones that have an effect on how we age directly. So these are things you may have heard of, more mainstream. So DHEA, progesterone. So progesterone is huge, especially for women. And it is one of the things that really can throw everything off balance if the levels are not optimized. And HGH. So as we get older, our body produces less HGH, our, muscle mass, decreases as a result of that. So with restoring everything, it again helps bring those levels back to optimal. And then testosterone and estrogen. So again, hormones that have a direct effect on how we age. So some tips to keep your hormones balanced. So obviously have your levels tested, get a diagnostic blood test. With the services that we offer, we also do give dietary and nutrition suggestions. Controlling stress, that's easier said than done, but definitely something that helps control and keep your hormones balanced. Exercise, and then again, just balancing your hormones. So bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is one of the services that we offer to bring those levels back to optimal, but there's many different ways that can be done. So the comprehensive blood panel is the first thing that we do. You'll work with the medical provider, and sorry about that. Oh, it's not letting me go back. Okay, so you'll work with a medical provider, and then we will monitor your progress just to make sure that you're maintaining the results that you were looking for. So that was, again, information about the core services that we offer, the diagnostic blood testing and what your different levels mean, why it's important to have them optimized. And again, I can answer any questions that you have about that. So going into just a little bit about our IV therapy. So we do offer an extensive menu of IV therapy for different things such as performance, immunity, hydration, stress relief, detoxing, weight loss, and just so this menu, all of our menus are available on our website, but just to give you, an idea of the types of IVs that we offer, this is our menu of IVs that don't require blood work prior to having an IV administered, and we're beyond 11 o'clock. I'm sorry. So again, this is our nutrient injection menu. So if you just want to come in, you don't want to sit for an IV for 30 to 45 minutes, you can get a quick injection. And we do offer packages for these as well, because they are more beneficial to get them, in a package of 5, let's say. And then, depending on what your goals are, we can give you a suggestion on what, would be the best thing for you, depending on, any issues you might be having, etc. And then glutathione, I just wanted to highlight, something. So if you haven't heard of glutathione before, it's your body's most powerful antioxidant. And it is something that we offer in conjunction with our IVs. You can get it in an injection, or you can get it in a push. So if you haven't heard of glutathione, look it up. There's many different things that it helps with as related to health, immunity, anti-aging. So I know that a lot of people on the call today, obviously either you're in some sort of a business. So we do have corporate wellness programs that we offer. We have many different ways that we work with different businesses. If you were looking to offer what we do to your employees, either we come to you, there's different ways that we can work together. We are going to be launching our mobile services. So we have what we're calling the BioBus that will be going to different places and offering education and services to companies. So I know that I ran through that so fast, and there are a lot of services that we do offer, and it can be overwhelming. So I'm going to put my information in the chat so you can reach out to me directly. And I'm going to be emailing everybody who was on this call who registered, just so you have, an easy way to get a hold of us, and we can, answer any more questions you have. But this is an offer that we're giving to everybody who's on the call today. So if you want to screenshot it, again, I'll be emailing it to everybody. So, screenshot it, take a picture. And if you're interested in getting, we're going to give you your first B12 shot complimentary at any of our locations, 50% off your first IV, and $100 off your total wellness evaluation, which is what I spent the most time talking about. So getting your diagnostic blood work done and all the things that go along with it. I recommend to anybody who hasn't had blood work done, it is a really eye-opening process to go through, no matter what your age. So, and I think, yes, thank you so much, everybody. That is all I have.
Thanks, Hillary. That was really interesting, and we've gotten quite a few questions coming in. I didn't want you to feel rushed, because I know we ran a little long on the other presentations, but I know that it's all good stuff. I'm just trying to get this off the screen. There you are. So definitely didn't want you to feel rushed, but I know we did talk about wrapping up just in case other folks had other calls. But I know that as I'm getting older, I'm starting to get the hot flashes, and I'm not sleeping. So it definitely, it all does, again, it's all mixed in together. If you're not sleeping good, if you're not good, you can't do anything else good.
It's all and it's all interrelated.
You can't be a good mom, you can't be a good partner, you can't be your best. So it really is important. So of course there's the insurance question. Hillary, what's the story with insurance with BioStation?
So depending on the type of insurance you have, if you have a PPO insurance, your blood work is covered. There are some things, depending on what your insurance is, with the hormone therapy that may be covered, like progesterone and things like that, but you would submit that to your insurance yourself. And if you are unsure of if your insurance covers it, again, you can send me just a copy of your insurance card. I'd be happy to have that verified for you. But typically PPO covers the blood work, which it would make it only $199. Normally it's $499. So normally it's $499 to get the complete blood work done, your hour consult with the doctor, your report, and then that comes out of it with your recommendations, and then the follow-up. And then everybody who's on the call today would receive $100 off if they wanted to get the wellness evaluation done. So it would be $399 without insurance.
Got it.
Okay.
And we have a question for Tammy, so I'm just gonna again jump over to Caroline. Tammy, the question that we have is from about regarding do you have technical information for those who have a defibrillator or pacemaker? Are they able to use those different stations and experiences that you were sharing, or are there some that?
No, everybody, actually, there is no contraindications other than when it comes to red light. If you're pregnant, that's the only thing. But any kind of defibrillator, heart pacemaker, diabetic, any health issue that you have, there's no contraindications of anything.
All right, great. And Hillary, I was just going to say, please share your information in the chat because a couple people were asking for it directly. And I appreciate you do sending your information and that great offer to the folks. Tammy, what's the Miami Spa Month deal that is going on right now? Are there a lot of treatments and it's too much to say, or what's like the package that's doing right now?
Well, any 50-minute massage, any excluding deep tissue. We have Himalayan salt stone massages. Any massage is $109.
Nice.
And the gratuity is 20%, based on the $109 price. But, and most of our facials are like $149 right now. That's a special that we're offering along with the $109 price by Spa Miami month.
And if I could be so bold, because it's always in the back of my mind, what's the parking situation?
Valet's free. If you come to the spa, valet's free. And if people want to do, if they want to visit the Atlantic pool, which is a saltwater pool, or our beach and get a beach chair, it's an upgrade of $40 for a day pass with a treatment.
Got you. So you aren't doing a day pass without a treatment at this point. Well, it's still a great deal, and Miami Spa Month, I personally am hoping that we will extend Miami Spa Month, but I can't speak for the organization. So hopefully we'll hear some updates and continue to drive business. So if anyone has any more questions, feel free to put them on the chat. I'm just going to give a couple quick updates, and then I know we need to wrap up because everyone's got other things to Zoom to. But we do have next week, what's new in Coral Gables. There's a new director of the Coral Gables Business Improvement District, which manages the Miracle Mile District. We have a close partnership with that entity, and of course, all of our different chambers and bids. But we're always excited when there's a new person in position. So Aura Reinhardt has, I think I'm saying her last name right, will be joining us along with most of you know, Mark Trowbridge from the Coral Gables Chamber. Will be talking to us. They have a new visitor center opening. They've moved their offices in the Gables, and there's all sorts of new things going on from the recent renovation of Miracle Mile and lots of new things to learn about. So we're excited to have those updates. And of course, it's always an opportunity for you as a partner to connect with new businesses and make those new connections and collaborations. At the end of the month, on the 30th, we'll have our coffee and conversation, have a little Hispanic flair, and it'll be Cafecito and Conversation in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, which actually just kicked off September 15th and runs through October 15th. And while we are saddened that Art Basel will not be coming in person this year, we are working feverishly internally and with all of our key stakeholders to do everything we can to continue with a very strong arts and heritage opportunity in December for the full month, not just Miami Art Week, but even without Basel, we have amazing artists and culture that we are going to be showcasing more than ever this year. And we continue to hope to fill rooms and the attractions and keep the businesses busy with all of that business that we're continuing to drive. Because hey, who wants to be up north in December? Miami is the place to be, right? So we're excited about doing what we can to make sure that we continue to recover. If I can be of any assistance to you, I am going to put my information in the chat, but I think y'all know me. If you're joining us and you're not a partner, let me know. I'd love to send you some information. We have some very generous partnership packages right now with some extra months we're throwing in. And if you're already a partner and have any questions, again, I'm happy to help you along with the team. So that said, I don't see any other questions jumping into the chat, but if everyone would like to unmute themselves and say goodbye, and again, thank you all for joining us today. Special thanks to Tammy and Hillary and all of the folks involved. Elizabeth, thanks for coordinating our speakers today, and everyone that's here today. So thank you so much, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice to see everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, everyone.